This is part 10 of the question and answer book, The Mancharians' Newest Civilization in Audio Format. Here we have the nature of dimensions further explained, examine the universal principle of free agency in all of creation, and have the reality of good and evil further examined. All sessions were recorded in 1995 in Tempe, Arizona. Director, you said that you are many and of the 16th dimension. Can you tell me how many dimensions there are above you, that even you aspire or are in contact with? Mancharians, here you must understand, dimensions are not built as building blocks as in your concepts, as one foot being above the other foot. They are layered, but they are layered, and here we take you a step further, we begin by telling you, they are layered one on another. Now, the next step for your concept and understanding would be to understand it as water, and what happens when you pour water on water. Does it not mingle into itself? And yet if you take oil, and let us look at a light oil, and it lies on the top of the water, and then what would occur? Director, separation of the two. Mancharians, but would it not be a light separation? Director, yes. Mancharians, could you put anything in between? Director, I suppose not. Well, this is our point. So here we have dimensions upon dimensions and are aspiring, because we are multidimensional beings. We work in all dimensions, up to the 16th, as you put the up for your understanding. For in precise fact to say, we permeate every dimension. We have already formed galaxies and not by thought only, for here again, we take you a step further up on your evolutionary understanding, we permeate the galaxies by becoming the galaxies. Our molecules attract like molecules, and therefore the group of the oneness becomes a duality, calling more duality, and as it stretches forth, the larger it becomes, the straighter the focus. And therefore more upon more will be created, stretching us in with the Creator even closer. For we mingle in the Creator's molecules and consciousness, for each molecule and atom, whether be negative or positive, is intertwined. This is how all matter lives, and this is how all matter has a consciousness. This is how life is breathed into the very bushes and trees and plants and ground and rocks and rubble on your planets, and those of others elsewhere. Proceed. Director, thank you. You may have partially answered my next question. How do you create nothingness into matter, and how would you recommend us to begin to be true creators? Mancharians, this is an interesting concept of individuals. Firstly, there is no such thing as nothingness. Nothingness suggests no thing. How indeed can there be no thing? If every atom and molecule, that permeates without and forms its dualities and counterparts and collects itself within conscious attire, would that not then be stricken? How can you have universes with large spaces in between, which you call nothingness? They are made of light. They are glorious colors. They are every color of the molecules and atoms which permeate from the Creators and the very mind and conscience of Creator, for everything is thought into being. Because you cannot see with physical eyes the beauties and the lights that radiate throughout your blackness, do not be fooled, dear ones. Nothingness indeed lies within your own imaginings, which shows you how darkened your conscience remains as though a veil is dropped over your eyes. You need to elaborate with your spiritual sight until you can use your physical eyes for interdimensional understanding. Only then will you see what is really and truly out there that others perhaps will not see yet. We have enjoyed this documentary tonight. We enjoy bringing truth to you and your people. We are the Mancharians and will be happy to proceed. Director, well, thank you. That is a very interesting thought you have given us to meditate upon. Next question, this universe is referred to as the free agency or free will universe. Are there universes that function on a different basis than that of free agency? Mancharians, absolutely not. For all are free, are they not? Do the understanding of limited cultures not have the same freedom as those who are of higher evolved and understanding? Of course not. The point here of which we would relay, is the difference between those who know they have free agency and those who apply free agency. Do not be fooled in the least. Universal laws do not mock one culture or evolutionary ethnic. However, in order to proceed, we feel we are doing a very good job in all with your strange linguistic patterns. The point here being again to reiterate, every single individual, as well as those of the animal kingdom, have free agency. It is simply what do you do with it? Do you harbor it in wisdom and understanding, and let it grow and guide you and lead you, and call it intuition? Or do you victimize yourself and say you have no choice? Let no one tell you, you have no choice. That would be indeed a lie of your own soul. If you would lie to yourselves, then, who could tell you the truth that you would believe? For if you cannot believe your own essence, how can you believe another? There is no difference between believing in yourself and in your essence and intuition and learning to love yourself, before you can learn to love another. So many of your people lie to themselves about how they love and forgive one another, when in their own essence they don't even know how to work with themselves. Pity, we think. Proceed. Director, thank you. We have been told there exists duality throughout all dimensions, the duality between positive and negative. How would any entity or soul want to choose for its pathway the negative aspect of that duality in hatred and unkindness and rudeness and all evil, or everything we call as evil and understand as evil? Can you explain? Mancharians, this again is not so much a choosing of, rather as a growing process. When your evolutionary mind is subjected to the mere whims of your heart's pulse, then you will not be so tied down with your stricken efforts of the understanding between good and evil. Here again is a concept, which may be somewhat difficult for you and your people, as you work on such individualistic developments. As you attain a full conscious understanding, the words good and evil do not even come into play. The concept here, as we have said before, even with love and caring is not the same as you will find in your dictionaries. In order to answer your questions to the best of our ability and your profound limited understanding, we will just say to you in this way, that all conscious endeavors in a heightening of blissfulness, and everything you must understand, has a learning and has a price to pay. As you have stated before, how does one put their full consciousness into only one portion and not awareness of other dimensions they may be working on, which in fact they do at the same moment in time, for there is no time to regulate the one which is time-bound. In the same way do we direct our consciousnesses into our evolving in our blissful state, whereby we send the other portion of our consciousnesses into the negative. But awareness is extremely limited, and at some times not even close to evaluation. Does this fully answer your question? Director, yes. I will have to meditate upon that one. Mancharians, this is always highly recommended and delights our hearts, when one with light is forced within himself to stretch his mind beyond his means. Director, end of file 10. Our presence on internet is freeearthsystem.net. As well as, starshipfederation.atspace.co.uk. My presence on Facebook is facebook.com/Sentana-Ries. It is our intent to present to you listeners the words of the Mancharians from the book The Mancharians' Newest Civilization in audio segments of approximately 5 to 9 minutes in length. Happy listening.